Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about this turban. I already have a part one of this turban and I told you that I will come up with another one where we have to fill the space with some things so that it will come up. So today I'm here with that particular training. So if you look at all the pictures that I've just posted, you will just be able to recognize that there is something inside the pleat. So we are going to be looking at how to create the pleat and what to put inside the pleat. All right, so all the measurement that we need, they've been scrolling and I believe that you've seen them as well. So we have, this is for the back cover, because I decided to use two different fabrics so that it will look like they are separate, but of course they are not. All right, so this is to cover the back of the turban. Already I showed you the measurement for the pleats. Okay, so and what I'm using for the pleat is a stretchy fabric, so I'm combining it with this bridal satin. So these are the two fabric that I would be combining. Okay, so now the bridal satin is what I would be using to create the pleat. Okay, so the length I have to get a good length so that I'll be sure that it's not going to be too tight. So I used 36. That is for the length. All right, and then for the width or the depth, I used about 32. I used 32. Yeah, that's for the depth. Okay, so we are going to be using the satin to create the top, then why we use the stretchy fabric for the base and the back cover. So we are going to be filling in the pleat using chestwarden. Of course you can work with you can use foam, okay, but I'm using chest wording, and this is the thick chest wording, but still it's not thick enough for me, so that's why I'm saying you can use foam. Okay, but to use foam is going to take extra stress, so I'll prefer you work with the chest wording. So I'm using 4 inches for the width of the chest wording. I'm using 4 inches, and then for the length, because I still need to get something long enough, I used same 32 inches. 32 on a fold is going to give you about 16, so 32 by 4 is what we are using for the chest wording. So straight away we are going to look at what we are supposed to do. So what we are supposed to do is to create a pleat, just that this pleat has to be a little bit big. Okay, so it's not your regular pleat that you create. You are creating this pleat with the intention of um adding something, so you have to make sure that it is wide enough for you to add what you need to add. So you can create a pleat of say 3 inches. So 3 inches on a fold, 3, when you stretch it, that is 6. So we have this chest wording, I told you is 4. I'm going to be folding the chest wording so that it will look thicker. I want it to be thicker than it is right now, so I'm just going to fold it to make it thick. Okay, so when you fold it now, instead of having 4 by 32, we are going to be having 2 by 32. So we go ahead and prepare the base for the turban. This preparation of the base for the turban is actually for beginners, so if you are not a beginner, I know that this part will not really like want to interest you that much, but there is still one or two things that you would learn in this place. So we quickly create our pleat. I'm not really going to waste much time on this. So after creating the pleat, we made two separate pleats. All right, and I told you the measurement before. I think is 18. So 18 by your length, so 18 by 14, I think. Then we have the two combined. We are going to cross it. After crossing it, we will now create the pleats that we would need to fix the chest wording into. Okay, so this is the time to create that pleat. The first thing that I would be doing is for me to rule out a portion of this fabric that I would not sew. All right, so that measurement can be the between 1.5, between 1 and 1.5. Okay, so you give a distance from the beginning that you don't need to create a pleat on, because this distance I'm giving from the beginning is going to help me to be able to attach the satin to the base. Okay, so this is very very important. Okay, so we'll go ahead and fold out our pleat. You can go ahead and fold it out like this, using your office pin to hold every part of it down before you go ahead and sew it one after the other. But if you feel you can be careful enough to just like um, sew directly without having to pin first, I think is also a good idea, because it's going to make it faster for you. So if you can do that, it's better. So we'll go ahead and sew. We just sew it straight. Of course, make sure that the pleat that you are creating is going to be wide enough to contain the chest wording that you already created. Remember that the width for the chest wording right now is 2 inches, so you should not have anything less than that when you fold. You should not have it. In short, you should have like 2.5 inches. So we just go ahead and keep sewing. So you also have to determine the number of pleats you want. For me, I used just 5. You can use 2, you can use 3, you can use 4, you can use 5, and if you like you can go above 5, but I used 5 and I'm very okay with the 5. So after creating it like this, we go ahead. Remember I said I have a separate cover for the back, so we are going to attach that now to the back. So assuming you are not separating your cover and you intend to work with satin as the cover, so what you need to do is that you have to make extra space, because I worked with 13, 36 or 35 by 32. So you have to make your length to be up to like let's say 40, so that by the time you are done folding 32 from it, you will still be having like 8 inches left behind, which will help you to be the back cover. All right, so now I have attached the back cover and you can see it. We are going to go ahead and then fix in the chest wording. We are going to go ahead to fix in the chest wording. So one after the other, we fix the chest wording into the plate using the safety pin. So we use the safety pin to pass it in carefully, and then you also have to ensure that it is smooth, that is it is smooth and flat, so it shouldn't have any form of it shouldn't have any part that is not relaxed, so it should be smooth and flat. So we are going to fix it into all the 5 pleats. Okay, and also we are going to ensure that we smoothen it out. This process is very important for the beauty or the finishing of this turban. So we quickly stretch it out. Okay, all right, so we do this for the remaining 4 patiently. If you can iron, it's okay. If you cannot iron, it's still fine. Okay, but if you can iron, I think I would prefer that you do that, because it's going to help your work. So right now we are finished, we are done fixing all 5 pleats. So we will now go ahead and fix the base. Okay, so to fix the base, we already prepared the pleat for the base, but one more thing, we have to cut out a cover for the inner, so that every of the rough work that we did would be completely covered, and then this turban would be uh, the finishing of this turban would be perfect. All right, so this is how it's going to look. Now there is this very important step that I need to explain. If you leave your chest warding inside without having to cut any part of it out before closing, it's going to be too thick. Just imagine putting this chest warding on top of the other one and trying to close it with your machine. It's going to be too thick. So what we do is to take the needed measurement that we are going to use, and then we cut out the parts that we don't need. So with this, we are going to have a plain fabric at both ends. So you maybe you are closing by 14 on a fold, so you measure that 14 on a fold, giving you 28. Pin it down and cut out the remaining chest warding. Balance it from the left and the right to make sure that there is no chest warding at the ending of the left, there is no chest warding at the ending of the right. So I closed mine with 15, so I cut out my chest warding to that point and then reduce it by at least 1 more inch, 1 more inch. So if I'm closing with 15, I will reduce my chest warding to 14. That is, I mean, on a fold. So I will reduce my chest warding to 14 instead of 15. The remaining 1 inch there that will be plain will allow me to close this turban sweatlessly. All right, so we go ahead. We already have the inner cover, right side facing right side. Okay, and then we are going to close it. So remember, I said we have to cut out the chest warding to allow us to close it neatly and also sweatlessly. All right, if not, your machine needle cannot climb the chest warding. Is just going to be too thick for it. This very process that I'm emphasizing is very, very key to this style. All right, so that's it. We go ahead now to close. So in closing, remember, we are going to be fixing handle to the base. So this is what will make the base to be fitted, while the part where we have the chest warding will be acting as the backdrop of this turban. So the base is meant to be separate from the backdrop. If not, if you close the base together with it, you would not be able to give a good backdrop, and this backdrop is very necessary so that your pleat will not get squeezing together. All right, so that's the reason you have to separate the base from the turban itself. Okay, so it then means that it is compulsory for us to attach handle to this turban. So I just want to believe that if you watch this video from this point, you would be able to understand without me having to explain any other thing. And then I also believe that if you do have questions during the course of watching this video, you have the liberty to drop the questions on the comment section, and trust me, once I see your questions, I would respond to you. All right, so all you need to know is embedded in this video. Just watch carefully to the end and you will get all the details. Do have a nice day. If today is your first time stopping by my channel, please do not forget to subscribe before leaving this channel today, and I will see you in my next video. Also, a quick reminder, don't forget to watch this video to the end so that you get every detail that you need. All right, so bye. So you can see from all the pictures that I posted that you are seeing that the distance for by which you arrange this has to actually depend on what you are looking at. You can make it very close, yeah, you can give a good distance depending on what you want. You can step it together at the same point, okay. It's going to just look like all round. You can do a lot with this particular method of turban. You can do a lot with it. You can flip some of them to the front, flip some of them backward, add some kind of bead on them, you know. You can just get creative and come out with anything positive with this particular style. So to give it a final setting, you would need to work with your hot glue. But while working with the hot glue, you also need to be very careful. Do not apply the glue before stepping your pleat. Do not apply the glue before stepping your pleat. Step your pleat first to where you want it and then carefully apply your glue. If you don't do it that way, you might just have your work looking very rough, and you don't want that. So